man.
Hang on.
Stuff going on.
Let's see. Is this John Schneider? Hello, John?
Hey.
There he is. The one
My
and only.
gosh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm
no,
sorry, I'm so late.
it's all right. You don't have. Do you realize you're Bo freaking Duke? You don't have to apologize.
All right, well then, the heck with it. Yeah, we're driving down a beautiful road in this country. It's called the Natchez Trace Parkway. But for about 45 minutes in the middle of it, you get nothing, which is kind of nice. Kind of nice. Kind of like the old days when we, when we did Dukes of Hazzard, a cell phone was a car phone was something you had to buy an extension from Radio Shack and run it from the garage out to the curb.
Oh, the good old days. So, I got to throw it out there and just say, so how many times have you been told, you've changed somebody's life? Because, as a kid growing up, I was telling my co-host Nick, as a kid of the 70s, I wanted to be two things growing up. I wanted to be Evel Knievel and Bo Duke.
Well, yeah, and Bo Duke wanted to be Evel Knievel. So there we've got 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon there. People do tell me that, and it's what an honor that is. Dukes of Hazzard is something that has been for 40 years. By the way, we were filming it 40 years ago right now.
Holy cow.
In Conyers and Covington and Social Circle, Georgia. But people have been telling me all that time, they say it's the greatest memories they have of their grandparents or of their childhood. So it really seems like we were more than just, and continue to be more than just a television show or just something to watch. It seems to me like all of us on the Dukes of Hazzard are considered family members.
Right.
People. And, in a way, the Andy Griffith Show did that. But I think we're the only hour-long filmed show, and arguably the most successful one of those ever.
Right.
That was more than just appointment television. I mean, I had somebody today tell me that. Oh my gosh, I couldn't have survived my childhood if it wasn't for Dukes. And then my question is, did you watch it when you got home from school, or did you watch it every Friday night? Because that tells me which generation they are. Yeah. And this guy said both.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it was great. And when TV Land stopped showing it, which I think is a travesty, it seemed like the greatest way to make something popular is to tell people they can't have it anymore.
Right.
Because it seems to me like Dukes has seen a great resurgence globally because they found out that it wasn't being shown in the States anymore. And then Amazon Prime picked it up. And now that's where when anybody says, oh, my kids watch it all the time, they watch it on Amazon Prime. So people will get their Dukes fix no matter what. Absolutely.
Yeah, the whole Confederate flag on the General Lee, did it? I mean, it bothered me. I mean, because it was never meant to be that way. It was just, you know what I mean? It was part of the car. It wasn't about the history of the flag or anything like that. It was just part of the car. You know?
No, not at all. And and I've told people that if the flag on our car meant anything derogatory at all, our Uncle Jesse would have made us scrape that thing off with a toothbrush.
Right, absolutely.
So it never had that intention, just as it never had that intention on the front of the Smokey and the Bandit car that Bert drove. Just as it didn't have that intention on the Charlie Daniels album cover, or the Leonard Skinner album cover, or the picture of the Rolling Stones in front of the Alamo. I mean, it never had that vibe about it. The vibe about that flag, or that symbol, as far as I was concerned, meant that you were kind of a rebel. You were kind of working outside of the system. You were not someone who could be fit into the the box of the system.
Right.
And really, still, that's what I mean. If you go back and you can Google the Confederate flag, and that's not the Confederate flag. I mean, the original Confederate flag looks very much like the original Stars and Bars, the circle of the first 13 colonies. So, it's sad that happened. However, I do think a lot of people have gone back and maybe learned a little bit more about history and found out that it's not necessarily what we've been taught. We've been taught kind of a Cliff Notes version of history, and I, for one, really now, I didn't enjoy it when I was in school, but that was so long ago. I can now say that I really enjoy reading history now, especially our history. Probably why we're driving the Natchez Trace Parkway.
But are you in the General E?
We're actually not in the General E, oddly enough. We have one, but the windows don't go up in the General E, and it's chilly. So I'm not quite as rebellious, I guess, as I once was. Although Alicia and I just drove back from California in the last 3 days. We drove from California to our place in Holden, Louisiana, in a little convertible, and the top was stuck down. And we woke up in Gallup, New Mexico, day before yesterday. It was 8 degrees.
Holy cow!
And yeah. But we did it. The warmest it got that day. We drove all the way from Gallup to Holden, Louisiana. I think it's like 1,200 miles. The warmest it got was 38. Yeah. No, I take it back. I guess I still am. Fighting the system like a true modern day Robin Hood. Yeah.
Now,
but anyhow, it's been a great life. I'm delighted to be back in music. I had a wonderful time on Dancing with the Stars, and I'm going to be singing on that Monday night, one of the new songs. So life is good. Life is really good.
I'll tell you what, as I was going through and getting ready for the interview tonight, I was kind of blown away because, first I find out all the tragedy you went through with John Schneider Studios, with the floods, not once but twice.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, rebuilding 2 times, and
Yep.
inspiring you to go back to music. And normally, especially this day and age in the music business, people will do a song. They'll put out a single, maybe an EP. They'll get daring to put an album out. You put out 52 songs.
Yeah. We've released a song every Tuesday. It's kind of crazy. But I hadn't done it in so long. And once Alicia and I did the Ruffled Skirts album, which came right out of the second flood in 2016, it was then that I realized how much I really missed singing in front of an audience playing the guitar, but also the whole recording process. Back in the 80s when I was on MGA, I had 10 top 10 songs. I had 4 number 1 songs, had a number 1 album. And one of the things I learned back in those days, because I worked with a legendary producer by the name of Jimmy Bowen, was how to really record great music and find great songs. So when the opportunity came around to go back in the studio, it was like, okay, I need to make up for lost time. I need to make up for 3 decades of not doing this. And we live in a day and age now where everything really is a single. There are no such things as albums anymore. There are no 45s, there are no B-sides, there are no album cuts. I mean, a career really kind of sinks or swims based on the quality of what you have out right now.
Yeah.
So we got together with the greatest songwriters in Nashville, like Paul Overstreet and Bobby Tomerlin and Bill Anderson and Chuck Cannon and Brian Mayer, and with the greatest band in Nashville, and decided to go for it. And I'm excited. I just saw we have a song called "Can I Buy You a Beer," and it's number 36 on the charts this week. So I'm believing it's going to break into the top 30, which is 10 better than the top 40.
Right.
and this new one we're going to release. We release "Walk a Mile in My Shoes" on Tuesday of next week, and Monday of next week I'll be singing it for a couple of million people on Dancing with the Stars. So
that's awesome.
Very high hopes. I have every reason to believe there's another number 1 or 2 or 3 hit in my satchel or in my guitar case.
It's a big case right now.
Yeah, it's a big case. Got a lot of songs in it, and they're all available. By the way, since you brought them up, they're all available, folks. If you want to get a hold of my app, I have an app that's free on at the App Store. It'll work for an Android. It'll work for an iPhone. And if you get the app, you just click on music. Now, if you're not an app person, then you can just go to johnschneiderstudios.com. And again, in this day and age, you can actually listen to the songs. You can pick the titles before you buy them. So give a listen to any one or all of the 52 songs if you've got it in you. And pick the ones you want, or go online and buy one of the 5 CDs that we have out right now. 5 CDs. We have 5 CDs out right now. Amazing.
It really is. Now, were you recording like so many songs at a shot, or like have you just done it like honestly?
We did it in 3 different sessions, but the first one was 4 days long. Second one was 2 days, and the third one was 3. So, and they were a couple of months apart, because the mixing process of this material actually takes longer than the recording process, because we recorded them all live. And by live, I don't mean in front of a live audience, but we had all the musicians and all the background singers all in the same room at the same time, and we recorded them all at the same time. So that was really great, because the musicians said they hadn't done that since maybe the early 70s.
Wow.
And I think there's a certain energy that happens when you do that.
Oh, absolutely.
Because a lot of times what happens today is people will come up with a drum track, and they'll send a drum track to a bass player, who'll send it to a guitar player, who, eventually they put a singer on there. So it's kind of a sterile way many people do music today. But since I'm such a lover of live music, I wanted to do it this way, and the band was very, very grateful. And I think you can tell there's an energy to this music that really doesn't exist in a lot of the other music that's out there today. It's the way we old guys do it.
I agree. I like that whole process better. I mean, just to have everybody in that room, like you said, you can feel that energy, and you're making that eye contact, and you're getting that vibe off of each other more, and it just raises the whole process.
And when you get folks like, you get Brent Mason in the room with Matt Rawlings, or Glenn Worf, or Terry Marks, or Kenny Greenberg, or Paul Lime. I mean, you get all these people in the room at the same time, and they are the best players in the world. And when they're jiving with each other, they get even better. And it's just a remarkable thing to see. And Paul Lime produced all this stuff along with Alicia and myself, and he cast the band so that would happen. And it's palpable when you listen to this music. It's like we are right there in front of you, and you are part of it. And I think that's missing. Honestly, I think that's missing in a lot of music, especially country music these days.
I agree. Now, are you have you done any videos for any of the singles, or?
Yes, the videos, you can get the videos on the app too. The plan is to do one for all of them.
Holy cow.
But I've done now, between myself and a friend of ours, Joe, we have done I want to say 20.
Holy cow.
So we're a little behind in the video world, but if you go to just Google search John Schneider, or just go to the app, or go to the JohnSchneiderStudios.com. All the videos are there. Plus, we did I can't believe this, but when we recorded all of these songs, we had 8 cameras in the studio each time we went in. And we are putting together a documentary series called Artist Studio Access. And
nice.
The first one of those is available for free. If you just look that up, Artist Studio Access, you'll be in the studio with us when we were recording we re-recorded Waylon Jennings' theme to the Dukes. And you can be in the studio with us for that. The rest of them you have to rent, but that one's free. It's kind of a teaser. I think it's 27 minutes long, and you'll get a really good picture of what it was like to be in the studio with all these people.
That's
so
awesome.
It's rather ambitious.
Yeah, it's doing a lot of work for the love of music.
Well, I love music so much, and like I said, I had forgotten how much I missed it. Took Alicia to remind me. And I'm so glad she did, because it's really been it's been my life this year. It's been our collective lives this year. That's in fact, Alicia's driving right now. We're driving to Tupelo, Mississippi, and we're going to be playing in Corinth, Mississippi tomorrow night, and then back in Nashville in Music Valley on Saturday night.
Nice.
And then Sunday, head back to Los Angeles to rehearse, and then Monday I'm live on Dancing with the Stars. So it's not slowing down.
Now, how about the whole Dancing with the Stars thing? Like, when they came to you, were you like hesitant at all, or were you a big dancer? Like,
well, yeah, I was hesitant because I don't dance. Now I feel like I do. I really feel like I learned some great ballroom dancing skills that I'll take with me for the rest of my life. But no, I had turned them down several times before just because I was afraid. I don't like to do things in public that I'm really bad at. But I had a great teacher. Emma Slater is a great teacher, great choreographer, and now I feel very confident. The other thing about it is that the other times I was asked, I didn't have 52 songs out there to promote.
Right.
And now, because of Dancing with the Stars, people are talking about my music.
Sure.
Certainly the hope is after Monday night that people will really be talking about the music. And being an independent artist, I mean, we're all in. We paid for every guitar string and every downbeat, every CD and everything. So the hope is that people will hear the song on Monday night and they'll go, I like that song. I want to buy the album or the albums called the Odyssey that song came from, and because I really like John Schneider's music.
Nice.
So that's our big plan, and it all comes to fruition Monday night live on Dancing with the Stars.
Well, it's funny actually because we have a news girl, and actually her schedule changed. So she hasn't been with us the last couple of months, but she's been with us like the last 4 years, and she works for a dance website out in L.A.
Really?
And she comes Dancing with the Stars. And I had tweeted to her today. I'm like, hey, we got John Schneider on tonight, and she said the fans were so upset when you got eliminated, and they truly do love you.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that. I'm excited about going back. The band is stellar. The dancers are stellar. And I've got to say that myself, I'm not sure who's more surprised, me or Bobby Bones, that Bobby is still there. Because my gosh, Juan Pablo was eliminated and Bobby's still there. That's got to just be a shock to Bobby Bones. Because I thought Juan Pablo was a shoo-in to win it. But now my vote's for Milo. I think Milo's got it.
Nice.
I want Milo to shine. He's a great young man, 17 years old, wonderful work ethic, and my vote's for him. But Bobby, they should have. The way he did his walls, they should have sent him out to Thousand Oaks to try to put out a brush fire.
I'll tell you what. Like,
he knows. He said that to me every time he and I spoke. He said, like, I don't get it. I don't understand. Of course, it might have helped that he had Len's picture on his T-shirt the other night.
I saw your waltz. I saw that whole, the dance and the story leading up to it about your mom, and I was just, the whole thing was beautiful. Like, I was blown away. I was like, that's why I was like, did he know how to dance before this? Because it was truly so graceful and beautiful. I was like, wow, this is really emotional.
Well, thank you. That I give full credit to Emma for that. Emma found my inner dancer and brought him to life. And I was actually very surprised that we were eliminated. Before Joe. Yeah, before Joe on our highest. That was our highest night. So I don't get it. Going back and doing what I do, and I won't be outside of my comfort zone at all. So that's going to be fun on Monday night, and I get to play with this great band again. Love this band.
That's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah, and it's great that they're doing that. And I'm also, can I say that I'm traveling with them or no? Can I say that yet? Yeah. And they do dancing. I had to make sure I had approval to let this cat out of the bag. But Dancing with the Stars travels. They have a live show, and I'm going to do 3 or 4 weeks with them. Not the whole thing, but I'm going to do 3 or 4 weeks, and then follow those weeks up by doing concerts in the area where I just was with Dancing with the Stars. So we've been able to use the notoriety of Dancing with the Stars and the fact that I was on it, and the fact that I had such a great time with those folks, and apparently, thanks to you telling me this, they had a great time with me. We'll get to not only promote the music on the show, but be able to promote the tour by virtue of doing the show on the road. So I'm excited about all of that. This is it's really terrific, and it's all Alicia's plan. She's the smart one.
I was going to say it's smart, and I say this to so many people because I watch so many people get put into a situation like you have with Dancing with the Stars or whatever type show they get put on, and then afterwards they don't use that opportunity to take advantage of it for like where you're trying to, put the music out there and you have this perfect chance.
Oh, yeah.
And I watch so many people launder it, and I'm just like, no, I'm screaming in my head. So.
Yeah.
Hats off to Alicia.
Well, and then you see what a tremendous what a smart guy Bobby Bones is, because he's taken this, and he knew that there was a good chance he'd get thrown off the first night, but he took a chance. He became the like the darling of the show. Look at the puppy. Look at the puppy. Look at the puppy with the wounded foot. And look what he's done. I mean, I'd love to find out what his numbers have been on his show. I mean, he managed to not only take advantage of this opportunity, but to create tremendous opportunity out of it. And like you say, I've seen many people who've been given opportunities, and they've kind of thrown them away with both hands.
Right.
But we're utilizing this opportunity to talk about the app, to talk about the music, to make sure people hear the music, to give people an opportunity not only to buy the CDs, but then to show up at a live show. So we're doing everything we can to turn this into a win-win-win-win-win for everybody.
Absolutely. Good for you.
Yeah.
Nice.
So again, folks, if you want, get a hold of the app. It'll tell you exactly where the concerts are going to be. And you can also communicate with me, too, because if you've got some place somewhere and you think, wow, you should really come play our theater in our town, I want to know it. I poll the audience at all times.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And people should know, too.
I'm so impressed this phone is still working. This is great.
I am, too. I've been waiting for the call to drop. People, too, should check out, too, with the whole John Schneider Studios. Like, it seems like you're really, wanting to help and, independent filmmakers. And I was watching the video of the tour of it, and I was cracking up because
isn't that fun? And we have
people should know that it does not suck. Their movies do not suck. So make sure everybody knows.
Our movies do not suck. Exactly.
There you go.
And they cost us more to make than they cost you to watch. So, yeah, we're all about helping people. First of all, Louisiana is the number one state. The tax credits in Louisiana are fantastic. That's a great thing. But it's a beautiful, beautiful state. I'm from New York State. I'm from Mount Kisco, New York. And I fell in love with Louisiana. So Alicia and I have made 7 films there since we met 4 years ago. Wow. And we've helped several independent filmmakers who've come down or come over, and they've had a dream and they've had their budget. We don't finance other people's movies, but we do help them spend their money better. And case in point, we're doing a mixed martial arts family movie starting the first or second week in January for an independent filmmaker who got in touch with us and said, "Hey, I have the money to make the movie. I have the script. I need help." So we're helping him. Cool. Because it's what we like to do. I mean, I might be 58, but I'm still an 8-year-old with a dream to be John Wayne, to be Robert Redford, to be the guy up on the big screen. And I love helping other people do the same thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to. For me growing up, like I said, you were Bo Duke. My co-host Nick, with him, you were the character in Smallville. So he knows you from Smallville.
Oh yeah.
So he wanted to say something.
Talk about a show where people come up to me and say, my character on Smallville helped them get through a rough childhood. And I hear that so often. The character of Jonathan Kent, somebody just today, I was doing an interview today about the music, and it was a DJ, and she said, you were my dad. Yeah, and that's, what an honor that is. So Smallville is a very, very special show, and it stays that. Hang on one second. Just order me something. I'll be in just a minute. We actually have gotten to people. But yeah, people, because I was somebody the Cartwrights were friends of mine. They seemed like they were friends of mine. I mean, I took my television very seriously as a kid. So it's really great that people identify so strongly with Dukes of Hazzard and with Smallville. I love that. That to me means that I'm doing something worthwhile. My hope certainly is that they identify, with the movies that we're doing like that as well as the music. When people, I've had a couple of songs off the Odyssey that have been played at people's weddings. And that's cool. When somebody says, I've used Like a River as our song for our wedding, that's an important decision, and that means you are part of them. And I'm honored when I hear things like that as well. Like I said, I like to poll the audience. I like to find out what's working. I like to find out what's working better, and I like to find out what's not working.
Right.
Musically and movie-wise. so that I can do more of what they like and less of what they don't like.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Nice. So, Nick, real quick, did you want to say that about the Smallville?
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to say, I mean, you covered so much of it, but just you fundamentally changed the story of Superman for the better, and that's an accomplishment in itself. But because I think that you did this thing where Jonathan Kent became to Clark what Jor-El was to Kal-El. They were mirrors of each other from an alien and human perspective, and I think that you did such a phenomenal job in the role that, honestly, I think Kevin Costner had a little John Schneider in him in Man of Steel. Like, you came through in his performance. You are now Jonathan Kent, I think.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Playing Jonathan Kent was an honor, and I want to let you in on a little secret about why I played him the way I played him. I have a son who has Asperger's, so I have a special needs child. And when I was doing Smallville, my son was 5, 6, 7 years old. A very awkward time for a young man with Asperger's. So it occurred to me that in the conceit of Smallville, in the story of Smallville, Superman didn't exist. We were not raising someone I was not the father of someone who was going to be Superman. I was the father of a special needs child. A special needs child who could throw a tractor over the barn if he got upset. A special needs child that if I encouraged him to play football could hurt somebody. So that influenced the way I played Jonathan Kent so much. So I think you need to know that. And I explained that to the guys, Miles and Al, who created Smallville, who actually had children as well. I tell you, I got my times wrong. My son was 11 and 12. Their kids were like infants. And many times I had to explain to them the difference between how the relationship between a parent and a teenager is different than a parent and a 2-year-old.
Right.
And so that's why when you go back and watch Smallville, and I bet you will, anytime you see Jonathan Kent talking to Clark gets home from school, I'm either putting my gloves in my pocket or I'm coming in from outside. I'm giving some impression that there is a world and a life outside of the worries and concerns of my teenager, which I think is one of the things that you're identifying with so much. Jonathan Kent was so real because he stopped his life in order to talk to his special needs child. He didn't sit and wait to be given information about how his day was at school today. So check it out. When you watch it again, watch it with that in mind, with particular regard to the relationship between Clark and Jonathan.
That's amazing. Absolutely.
That's going to change the whole
on
it now.
There's so many wonderful YouTube videos out there that people have done remembering Jonathan Kent that make me so proud to have had anything to do with that show. And it's made me a better actor, it's made me a better director, it's made me a better writer. The whole experience of doing Smallville, because as you say, I think Smallville actually made the Superman legacy better. You can't say that about all the films they've made, but you can't say that about Smallville.
No, I 100% agree with you. I mean, Superman was always a big blue Boy Scout. That's what they called him. But you never really understood why. You were sort of meant to believe that he had this sort of breadbasket, Bible Belt upbringing. But what you did instead was you turned it into, like, that's where he got his nobility from. He got that from his Earth father. That made him good. That made him a giving person. That was really made him a hero. Came from the human side of him and not from the alien side. And that's something that was missing from the comics, and you fundamentally changed that forever.
What a wonderful word you just used. It's what gave him his nobility.
Absolutely.
Love that. I'm going to take that. I'm going to use that. Consider that borrowed. But I have no intention of giving that back. I'm going to use that because if Jonathan Kent was nothing else, he was a noble character, and he passed that on to his son. And especially when he handed him that suit and said, "Always hold on to Smallville." What a great word. Loved it. Hey, gentlemen, I hate to cut this short, but I have to. I'm sitting in the parking lot, and Alicia and Trent are eating dinner without me.
Okay. Well,
but thank you so much. What a delightful conversation. I've enjoyed every moment of it.
Thank you. One thing before you go, if you can just cut a quick ID for me. This is John Schneider,
sure,
and you're listening to Totally Driven Radio.
Hey, everybody, this is John Schneider, and you are listening to Totally Driven Radio. Of course you are. You're smart. What else would you listen
to? I love it. John, thank you so much for everything.
It's
everything
my pleasure. My extreme pleasure. Thanks for helping. Please make sure people know about the app. And I'm going to sleep well knowing that noble, what a wonderful word. I've never heard that word used in that regard. What a wonderful word. That's where Clark Kent got his nobility. Man, I love that. Thank you for that. I plan on living to be 105, and I'm going to take that with me to the grave. Thanks, awesome. Gentlemen.
You're welcome, John. Thank you. Take care.
Have a great night. My pleasure.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, there he goes. John Schneider.
That's awesome.
TV icon. Look at that. He might put that on his tombstone.
Those are the kind of thoughts that those of us that sit up at night just thinking about Superman's life have. You know what I mean?
Oh, man. Now, that just made me want to go watch Smallville. I've never watched it.
Dude, he is so good in it. He's the last of, the true, alpha dad. You know what I mean? He always chose the right thing. He always put his family first. He was the shit, dude. And he was such a driving force in Clark's life. Why he was a good kid, why he was a hero, why he liked to help people. They all related back to, lessons he learned from his dad. Even his relationship with Lex was influenced by his relationship with his dad.
So I have to go back and watch it now. Now I'm inspired to actually want to watch it. The fact that there was no General Lee and no Superman with a cape in it, I didn't want to watch it.
The Superman wears a cape in the last episode.
Yeah, but it was on for how many seasons?
10.
Yeah. That's a lot of TV to sit through with no cape.
It ended with him putting the cape on. But you know what? He wore a different costume for most of it, and it was kind of just as cool because it was a blue Superman shirt and this red leather jacket with the S burned into it, sort of. It was pretty dope. And they had their own Oliver Queen on there too.
If you go on his website, John Schneider Studios, he's got a store section, and he's got all types of different merch. But he's got a bunch of Dukes of Hazzard influenced merch, and he's got the Smallville influenced merch. But his John Schneider Studios logo is the Superman triangle crest thing, and instead of just the S for Superman, it's JSS.
Oh, nice. That was cool, man. That was a fun interview. He just, I've never heard anybody that projected positivity like he does.
You know what? I've always remembered that about him, like watching him over the years with doing interviews and stuff like that. He just has that, and it's weird because, dude, his whole way of speaking and mannerisms was, you couldn't tell me it wasn't Jannetty. The way he pronounced his word in Jannetty, but his was positive, where Jannetty's a negative.
Right. Like Jannetty is his evil doppelganger. Like
Jannetty is John Schneider's Bizarro.
That's really funny, man.
I wonder if he's listening. He would have called in by now if he was listening. I figured he would have called in tonight with John Schneider on. I thought he would have called in. That's so funny.
Oh, man.